Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Library Hall. I'm your host, Cedar Dunn, and I'm so excited that you're here with me. And we're going to see what is in the bag. So here it is, the Library Hall bag. What will it be today? Okay, I'm very excited. Let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, You Could Make This Place Beautiful by Maggie Smith. First of all, isn't that a great title? You Could Make This Place Beautiful. I love the title. It's a memoir. I don't know anything about actually this memoir. I don't know anything about Maggie Smith. But I saw this on recommended list and I loved the title. And then when I opened it, I always love when, authors put in like a quote before they start writing that kind of sets the scene for the book. And listen to this beautiful quote that she has at the beginning of her book. This is by Emily Dickinson. I am out with lanterns looking for myself. I mean, wow, right? So, Maggie Smith, I'm excited. I think she's a poet. This is maybe her first memoir. So, I do think it's about divorce. That's what I've gleaned. And yeah, this will be a good one, I think. So, I will let you know how that one is. And then next we have Who Do You Love? Look at this sweetness. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just love sweet little children's books, of course. This is by Martin Waddell, illustrated by Camilla Ashforth. I was just charmed just on first glance at like how this just it was so cute and kind of old fashioned. I don't know. I just thought this reminded me of children's books that I used to love when I was little that had just like lots of sweet details. And yeah, so I'm excited to read this and check out all the illustrations. Who do you love? There's so many people that I love. I'm so grateful. I could write a book about it. All right, next. Oh, okay, totally different. We Were Once a Family. This is by Roxana Asgharian. Asgharian. This is called a story. Well, the subtitle is A Story of Love, Death, and Child Removal in America. Okay, this is going to be an intense read, I'm sure, because this is based off of that news, that thing that happened where there was a white lesbian couple that drove a van off a cliff. I think I might be getting this wrong, but they had their adopted children in the back, and they had maybe I'd have to, well, we will find out because I will be reading this book, but they had many adopted kids in the back of their car. I think everyone passed away. Truly tragic. And so this is a story about that, and I'm sure obviously touching on foster care system and that specific story and what went wrong. And so I'm looking forward to this. I have a special connection with just foster kids. My mom took in foster kids when I was young. So this is going to be I'm really looking forward to this. Very, very interesting read. I'm going to I'm going to read that and then I'll let you know. All right, and the last one is a cookbook, which you know how I feel about the cookbooks. Okay, this is called Smitten Kitchen Keepers. And I've actually looked at, I think she has a blog. I haven't looked at that, but I had checked out before one of her other cookbooks and it had some really good ones in it. So this is a new one. I think this is a brand new book. Yep. And yeah, it looks, I just love, oh wow, tomato and corn cobbler. That looks good. I mean, there's lasagna, always lasagna. So I'll be checking this out. I'll be trying a couple recipes and I'll report back to you. And that's it. That's the haul. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be right back with the book report. All right. Hello, friends. It's time for the book report. And I'm excited to report back to you on these books. Let's get into it. Okay. So first off, the Smitten Kitchen Keepers. So I did end up making a couple recipes from this book. And I made the Swiss chard enchiladas, and I made the double shallot egg salad, and both of them turned out really good. I ended up kind of tweaking them though, and I think this wasn't the kind of cookbook where I personally was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy this cookbook and make every single thing in it. But it was fun to check out the recipes, which that's what I like to do before I buy. Sometimes well, not sometimes, that's what I do. I check out cookbooks from the library, and then if I love them, I buy them. But it's a good way to test run. So this one wasn't for me, but I bet it might be for some other people. Okay, next up was this adorable children's book called Who Do You Love? And this book, I just was super charmed by it. So basically, it's like a little baby kitten having a conversation at night with the mom kitten, going through her list of cats in her life that she loves, including her grandparents and her friends and the postman cat. And finally, at the end, she says she loves her mom, of course. And then there's the cutest picture at the end of like the baby kitten being held by the mom kitten. And it's a super cute book. Who Do You Love? So I would recommend this book for your little kid. It's just a very sweet story. Very sweet. All right. The next one that I'm going to talk about is We Were Once a Family. And this one was a hard read, I would say, because it is really sad. It's talking about the foster care system in this country and how children are taken away from their families, even when there are potentially circumstances where they could stay with a family member. And this author, Roxana Asgharian, just does a really brilliant job of telling the story of this particular family, which was very harrowing. These women adopted all these children and were abusive, but were able to hide it, not completely successfully, but hide it and keep moving long enough so that they ended up killing these children. And so it's an American tragedy because these kids could have stayed with a family member, but because of certain rules and things, they weren't able to. So it's really sad. I wrote that it was gripping, tragic, haunting. It's a story that'll stay from you, and stay with you. And it's written from the one perspective of the family and the children, which was very enlightening. And then, of course, you also get sort of a larger understanding of the foster care system in the United States and how broken it is in many ways. I couldn't put it down. I read it in a few sittings. So it was just really well written, and I really admire this writer. I love this kind of it's almost like investigative journalist type writing. And so I highly recommend this if you are wanting to learn more about that particular story, which was very tragic, and then also just foster care in general. Also, I live in Oregon, and a lot of this book took place in Oregon. They lived in Oregon for a while, so that was interesting. But very good book, very well written. Very much appreciate this book. So highly recommend We Were Once a Family. Okay, and so the next book, or the last book, is You Can Make This Place Beautiful. And this book by Maggie Smith, I just really loved this book. This book, anyone who has been through divorce, and in particular if you've been through divorce with children, this book would be such a balm to your soul, I think, because also the way she writes it is so interesting. It's almost like little snippets of, she gives you, you get the overall story of, what she went through in her divorce, but it's written in these little tidbits and kind of also like, how am I going to write this story? Like she's talking about she's writing about how she's going to show us or tell us the story while we're reading it. Does that make sense? But it's really well done. She's obviously a poet, right? So she's just such a good writer. And I guess that let's see, I want to see what I wrote down about it. Yeah, it's just, and there was this part, if you've been through a breakup, which I think most people have, if you haven't, wow. But if you've been through a divorce, I mean, there's things in there that really really will strike you. So I think it's very good for that. And then there was a poem, I guess, that she kind of got famous for called Good Bones. And I guess it went viral. I had never heard it before, but it's a really neat poem. I'll read it at the end of the episode if you're interested to stay and listen. It's just a beautiful poem. And just this whole book, highly recommend. I see why it got so much attention and why she's such a beloved writer. You Can Make This Place Beautiful, a memoir by Maggie Smith. Just I mean, she made this book beautiful and shared with us. And so I'm grateful that she did. All right, that's this week's episode of the Library Hall. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and the links to all the books are in the show description. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time on Library Hall. Hey there! If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. To support us, please use the links in the video description or at libraryhall.com to purchase the featured books. Thanks for watching! This is Good Bones by Maggie Smith. Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways, 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there is a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a broken child, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible, and for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you, though I keep this from my children. I am trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor, walking you through a real shithole, chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. Ooh, I just got a chill. Isn't that beautiful? Maggie Smith. I mean, thank God for the poets, right?